Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. This is a video presentation for our database project. Our group name is Imagine Dragon. My name is Zilot Muhammad Kurata Ain. My metric number is 2118557. Okay, this is a ER diagram. But before I explain a little bit to ER diagram, I will explain for the business rule. First, business and individual associate with IAUM and around IAUM can register from the ICO recycling process. Each participant must provide their valid contact information during the registration process. Participant must agree to terms and conditions of the program before registering. Okay. Second, participant can deposit their UCO waste into the designed cooking oil bins installed at strategic location in IAUM campus. Only UCO waste should be deposited into the bins. Third, participants should have an option to provide feedback and suggestion for programming improvement. Feedback received should be reviewed and considered for implementing program and change. Participant can spend the money they have earned. It will be conduct from their balance. It will represent as remaining balance in the transaction table. Okay, this is the ER diagram. I will explain a little bit about the ER diagram. From the business row, we have 8 tables. The first table is user. Users is the participant, and second is business, and third table is staff. Okay, the next table is UCO deposit. After that, we have a bin table and the e-wallet table and transaction table and feedback table. Okay.
Assalamualaikum, this is Khan Muhammad Miat and my matrix number is 2221319. My part is about data dictionary. Now I represent my part. In data dictionary we have user table. There are some attributes like user ID, name, contact number and email. In the table the user ID is the primary key. In the second table we have a business table. The attributes are business ID, name, contact number and email. Business ID is also a primary key in business table. In the third table we have staff table. The attributes are staff ID, name, contact number and email, and the staff ID is a primary key. And in our fourth table we have bin table. The attributes are bin ID, location and registration number. The bin ID is a primary key. In another table we have UCO deposit table. The attributes are deposit ID, user ID, bin ID, deposit date, deposit time and quantity. And the deposit ID is a primary key and user ID is a foreign key, which is refers user table, and bin ID also is a foreign key. It refers to bin table. In another table we have wallet table. Their attributes are wallet ID, user ID, balance. The wallet ID is the primary key and the user ID is a foreign key, which refers to users table. Then we have another table named transaction table. In transaction table the attributes are transaction ID, wallet ID, user ID, transaction date, transaction time, transaction type, receiver ID, total use, remaining balance. The transaction ID is a primary key, wallet ID is a foreign key. It refers to wallet table. User ID is also a foreign key and it refers to user table. And at last we have a last table called feedback table. In feedback table the attributes are feedback ID, user ID, rating and comments. Feedback ID is a primary key and user ID is a foreign key, which refer to users.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Shardar Abdullah Sanna. I am going to represent the SQL scripts and the SQL queries. So this is actually our first table, the users table. I put all the scripts and I have shown the output. Okay. Then there is the business table. Then I put all the values, and we also have the output in the screenshot on the right side. But then there is the staff table. Then I put all the staff name with the staff ID and email and contact numbers. And then there is the bin ID, the bin table. I mean, the bin ID, the location, and the registration number is on the table. Okay, then there is the user deposit table. In the user deposit table, we have deposit ID, user ID, bin ID, deposit date, deposit time, and the quantity, the amount of deposited waste in the deposited bin. Okay. Then there is the e-wallet table. We have e-wallet ID, user ID, balance. Okay. Then there is the transaction table. Okay, the transaction table, I put all the values in the transaction table. The transaction table includes transaction ID, wallet ID, user ID, transaction time, transaction date, transaction type, receiver ID, total used, and the remaining balance. Okay, I put the remaining balance 0 because I want to update it. In here there is a updated script for that, so I did a calculate and update it here. Here is the updated form of the transaction table. And now we have feedback table. The feedback table includes feedback ID, user ID, the ratings, and the comments. Okay, now we have the SQL query parse with joins. Okay, the first SQL query parse actually represents the staff's name and their emails. Okay, then the second SQL query part actually represents the total deposited waste. Okay, it has names and with their amount of deposited waste they put in the bin. Okay, then the third query is actually about the wallet ID's remaining balance. We have the wallet ID here, the names, and their remaining balances. Okay, then the fourth query is actually about the people, how many feedback they gave. Like as an example, John Doe has given one feedback, uh, and Jane Doe has given one feedback along with other three. Okay, then we have the last SQL query, which is actually about the total rating gave by every people. Like the evaluation ID is actually refers to the feedback ID, and the people they gave total ratings. Like the feedback ID with 1 has gave 5 ratings, and the feedback ID with 2 has gave 7 ratings. So along with the others is also same.